I remember that first day so vividly because we had come to Japan, and you fly, through the clouds. Japan's kind of a cloudy place, and like as you're coming through the plane, you look out the window and there's Mount Fuji there, like this majestic cone-shaped mountain, and you get this sensation like, whoa, I'm in Japan, like I'm in Asia. This is so different from the States. And we landed, and it was actually really cold when I got there. I got there in February on Valentine's Day, and it snowed in Osaka, which almost never happens. And so it was a really memorable day because my first area was also in Osaka, and it was just super cold. And I was thinking, I just flew out of Utah to get out of this. What am I doing here? It was super cold, but my trainer was from Mexico, which is also strange for Japan. I was a little bit surprised at that. And I was thinking, does he speak English? Like, he only spoke to me in Japanese, and so I kind of went along with it. And then afterwards, I learned that he spoke English pretty well. But yeah, it was fun. I'm sure every missionary could say this about their own mission, but to me, it's the most beautiful mission in the world. And not just because it was my mission, but really it is a beautiful place. There's big city in the Kobe mission, as well as, beautiful countryside where you can see mountains and rice fields and everything Japanese you could ever want. And in the mission, there's two of the biggest cultural city centers that there are in Japan. It's the city of Osaka and the city of Kyoto. And for people who are familiar with Japan, they'll know that Osaka is the second biggest city in Japan, closest to Tokyo. It's huge, and they have really good food there, really, really good food. And Kyoto is a place with famous temples and shrines and all those kind of Buddhist, traditional places that you can go and see that are really cool to look at. And so there's also lots of countryside, and it has the whole island of Shikoku, which is also a very beautiful place. And there's a lot of culture there, a lot of ancient culture. It's really cool to see. When it comes to teaching the Japanese people, they don't have a whole lot of Christian background. A lot of them are they say they're Buddhist, most of them do. But it's more of tradition. They don't have a lot of religious beliefs. Most people don't really know what it means to even believe something. And so something I came across in teaching people was not just going straight into like the Restoration and teaching them, about Joseph Smith. You have to take it 3 steps back. And before you even talk about God, talk about like, what do you believe? Do you believe anything at all? And some people don't. And you kind of have to show them why believing something can help you out. Because their society is very rigid with the Japanese people. It's all about, work and school and doing well and succeeding in business and spending hours and hours and hours just, working. And I think a lot of people over there lose their sense of who they are just because their society throws them into just a pattern. And there are people who are, really individual, but a lot of them lose that individuality that they need as a child of God. And so showing them what it means to believe something and what to believe in, who God really is, and why their culture can actually, fit with the things that we believe too about Jesus Christ. And when we show them that, how our religion and our beliefs can help them accomplish what they want in their lives, that's when they feel the Spirit. Because otherwise, they just think of Christianity as some Western religion that's really foreign, kind of alien almost. Mission's pretty big. I think it's the biggest, maybe not the biggest land-sized mission in Japan, but has the most units of any of the missions in Japan. I think it has 64 or 65. And there are 5 stakes in the mission, and 3 of those are in the city of Osaka. And I think there's another one in Kyoto. And there's another one in Kobe. Maybe Okayama as well. Yeah, there's a lot around. And there's some couple districts that are floating around as well. But there's some wards that are really big. Like if you go in the big city centers like Osaka, you can get, well, it's not big compared to Utah, but you can get 100 to 120 people wards, and that's pretty good size. And then you go to some places, and there are some areas that have like 7 members, and 3 of them are active. And so it's kind of hard work to get working members. The smallest, I was in wards most of the time. I only actually served in one branch, and that was about 40 people at church every week on average. So I got lucky. I didn't have to serve in any super small places, but There are some missionaries that did. I'd say the average unit size, like a ward or a branch in Japan, is probably 30 to 40 in the mission. As for history of the church, work in Japan actually started a long time ago, like over 100 years ago. And Heber J. Grant went to Japan and dedicated the land and actually prophesied that there would be lots of harvesting of souls there. I can't remember exactly how he phrased it, but there's a really cool prophecy about it and how many people would join the church and accept the gospel of Jesus Christ there in Japan. And after a little while, because of World War II and stuff like that, it just got hard to keep missionary work going. So they pulled missionaries out for quite a number of years. And then when they put them back, they found that the church was still there and it was growing because the members were working with each other, which is really cool to see. The Japanese members have a lot of faith and they're really diligent in all the things that they're supposed to do. And it's really amazing to see. It is hard to be a member in Japan because overall Japanese people are really busy all the time, I guess you could say. They just have work and the pressures from their jobs and their society, that culture that's built around that, and school and their clubs and all of that, makes it hard to be active in the church, to go to church every Sunday, to keep the Sabbath day holy, to participate in callings and stuff like that. And almost nobody's Christian. And so for kids, when they say that, yeah, I'm Mormon, I'm Christian, to their friends, it's a little weird because they don't really know much about it. It'd be like if I was in school in Utah and I said I was Buddhist. It'd be that kind of the same feeling. People don't really know what it is, what you believe, who you are. And so a lot of the members who are converts stay with the church, but they're all really old. They're all, like the first generation has been in the church for 40 years and they're all 80, 90 years old. They're getting really old. And there's some strong families, but it's hard to kind of keep the church alive with the youth because as a youth, you're kind of alone. And so one of the things I wish I had focused on more in my mission in Japan was helping the youth, and strengthening the members, focusing on going to activities with them and helping them to feel proud to be a Christian, to be a Mormon, because they're unique. I went to the MTC on December 11th, 2013, and I got back December 18th, 2015. That was my mission time. My first area was in a city called Kawachi Nagano, which is in Osaka. Osaka is kind of a big city and it has lots of little suburbs. And so that was my first area. And then the next one was a place called Hanayashiki, which is also in Osaka. And my third area was in Nishinomiya, which is right between Kobe and Osaka, which are really close. It was like the same area. My fourth area was also in Osaka, and it's called Sendi, and it's kind of just north of like the heart of Osaka. There's a lot of members there. My last area was Kochi, which is in a completely different place. I had served all within like a 30-kilometer radius, my whole mission. And then I went out to this island where there's the biggest area in the mission. And it's just lots of rice fields and almost nothing there. So it's kind of a change, but I really liked it. And that's actually where my own Japanese relatives live, the Takedas. And since my grandma moved, she joined the church and then left Japan to go to the United States, and she got married over there. And since then, she had been back a number of times to visit the family, but there had been pretty little contact between her and the family over there. And I was blessed with the opportunity to be assigned to that area where they lived, and I got to go visit them and teach them quite a bit. It was a really cool experience for me.